How's it going, YouTube? Navysooner here. Today, we're going over FN's second attempt at a striker-fired pistol.
It's like frothing a lion that cannot be tamed. I snap at the thought like the sounds of your name. Pulling tears from my stomach, you've been eaten alive. My blood fills your lungs, my soul you're inside. I said they spent on ashes from the fires that you've made. Burning bridges just to save your face. If I say I'll put it because could you say you would do the same? If what makes us a little bit broken, tell me who is to blame. Tell me who is to blame.
This is the FN 509, not the tactical, just the regular old FN 509. So if you're looking for a review on the tactical, you can go elsewhere, or you can see what the base model is all about before you look at what the tactical version is about. The FN 509 looks like a Smith & Wesson M&P blew its load all up inside a Smith & Wesson S&W 9VE, while a Taurus G3 and a P320 bukkakied all over its face. That's just what it looks like to me, in my opinion. Sorry. No, I'm not saying it's ugly. I'm not saying it's ugly at all. I'm just saying that's just what the styling cues look like to me for this firearm. FN says the looks of the 509 were based off of the FN FNS, their first attempt at a striker-fired pistol, but they changed the internals on it for the MHS program. For those of you that are new and don't know what the MHS program is, it's the program that the military did to find a replacement for the M9. They held trials, which really they just said, fuck it, give it to SIG. And this was what FN threw at that program. Before we go any further, I'm just going to let you know about my Patreon account and my Subscribestar account. They are both Navysooner, and there are links down below. You can also, if you do not want to do a subscription service, because I don't have any content there yet, because I don't have any fucking followers there, you can donate money to my channel to help me keep it running through PayPal. You can use navysooner@gmail.com or navysoonerchannel@gmail.com to be able to donate to me. I just got my first donation through there a couple days ago, and it was like $1, but still it works and it's great. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Also, go check out Life, Liberty, Pursuit of Happiness clothing. They have a t-shirt and a hat. To be able to order currently at the moment, since there's no website, you need to DM them in Instagram, and their Instagram name is down below in the description. Like I said before, the 509 is a striker-fired pistol. The regular 509 is a 4-inch barrel, which this is the regular 509. They have a C, don't know what the length of the barrel is because I'm not reviewing that gun. But this one is a 4-inch barrel. The size is between a Glock 17 and a Glock 19. The length is roughly about the size of a Glock 19, and the height is roughly the size of a Glock 17. It comes with 2 magazines. Both of them are 17 rounds. On FN's website, they say that the slide is easily racked. Well, in the words of Maury Povich, the results of the lie detector test says that was a lie. This slide to rack it is very heavy, probably one of the heaviest ones I've felt on a handgun. My Glock 48, not as hard. My CZ P10F, definitely not as hard. This has a heavy recoil spring and it makes the slide heavy to rack. The barrel on the 509 is cold hammer forged, and it's got a recessed crown on it. The recessed crown helps protect it from drops or any dings or anything, which is nice because this is a very accurate pistol. Probably one of the most accurate standard pistols I've ever shot. Now, before all you keyboard warriors lose your shit and get your blood pressure raised because you are Cheeto eating fat fucks, I did say standard. I'm not talking about like a match grade pistol or anything like that. I'm talking about just a standard friggin' gun. This is, in my opinion, of all of the standard handguns that I've shot that are not match grade pistols or built for like complete accuracy at like 2,000 yards, This is the most accurate that I've shot. The sights that it comes with are 3-dot sights, and there's kind of a U notch here rather than just squared off. And the dots are luminescent, meaning they will glow in the dark, but you have to shine flashlight on them before they will glow. That's not ideal, but it's better than what Glock gives you. Plus, the way that the notch is set up and the size of the front blade, this helps with the accuracy of this pistol. If you would like to replace the sights on this gun, it takes the same sights as a SIG P320, so you have plenty of options there. This gun is completely ambidextrous. It has slide release for the right and left side of the gun, and the magazine release works on the left or right side of the firearm. The slide release, if you're a righty, is very easy to use. Now, if you're a lefty, it is really hard to get this slide release to release the slide to come forward. I don't know why, it just is, for me at least, in this gun. So, if you're a lefty, I recommend the overhand method. If you would like to argue the semantics of if this is a slide release or a slide catch, I've got something for you. Hold on. Some people would like to argue that the slide release is hard to push on these guns. Well, what I have noticed is if you do not move your finger, it is very hard to release. But since I have small cockstrokers, I have to do the little jerk to the side and release, and it releases just fine. Same thing over here. Your finger on the back side here gets in the way of the magazine release pressing through to the other side. So on my right hand, since I have the same size cockstroker on my right side, I have to go to that side and it releases just fine. Your fingers are getting in the way, and for the people that want to say this is a heavy mag release, it's user error. The grip texture on the 509 is very adequate in my opinion. It is more aggressive than a Glock, but not so aggressive as like my CZ-P10F. So the grip texture, in my opinion, is a great grip texture. There is an undercut where the trigger guard is here. That makes you be able to get a higher purchase on your firearm, but the issue that I have with getting a higher purchase is I believe that the bore axis sits higher because of the way that this beaver tail area has been cut out. It's higher than a Glock for me, and it's not quite as high as say a SIG, but it's still higher than a Glock, and just bore axis is higher than a Glock in my opinion. Another ergonomic issue that I had with this pistol was when I'm holding my pistol and my offhand thumb is up against the pistol, there's nowhere for it to rest, and every time that I pull the trigger, my thumb seems to slide off of it. I've tried pressing harder into the pistol, but there's nowhere for my thumb to rest. It just slides right off. The way the gun sits on my hand, it gives me a weird purchase on the trigger here. It makes my finger ride higher on the trigger. Usually when you're pulling a trigger on a firearm, you are getting a lighter pull the lower you go on the trigger. But naturally, my finger just wants to sit here, which I'll show you on my Glock. On my Glock, my finger sits naturally lower here. On my P10F, my finger sits naturally lower here. On the 509, it naturally sits right in the middle of the trigger guard there, and that's not ideal. Now this is my hand. It could be different for other people, but just the way ergonomically that my finger sits on the trigger with a natural grip on the gun, my finger just sits high. Speaking of the trigger, that is one of the worst attributes about this firearm. It has a hinged trigger safety, which kind of gives it the feel of a Smith & Wesson trigger. And Smith & Wesson triggers, to me, are mushy. When you get to the wall, and then there is hardly any creep, but the problem is, the weight that I get is mostly consistent at 6.5 pounds, but I'll get a trigger pull of 5 pounds, or I'll get a trigger pull of 7 pounds. And it's just not, it's not very consistent of a weight for the trigger pull, as well as the mushiness in it. Now the break is very crisp when you get to the break. But like I said, the pull weight is very inconsistent and it's mushy up until the break. The reset is very tactile and quick. So the reset is not an issue for me. There has been an issue with hydrolock with this pistol. It has been reported and it has been confirmed by other YouTube channels. Now, if you're not a Navy SEAL or you're not jumping in and out of water and immediately pulling the trigger on this gun, then that's a non-issue with me. The hydrolock is only if you immediately pull it out of water. They have shown that if you pull it out and let it drain a little bit, the hydrolock goes away. Overall, this gun is very accurate, but the ergonomics and the trigger pull put it in the category of I'm definitely selling it. Now, the tactical version might be different, but I'm probably never going to test out the tactical version unless someone lets me test theirs out. But I'm not paying $1,000 for the issues that the tacticals have, which is the striker pins are known to break. I'm not paying $1,000 to have to replace a part immediately because I'm not going to allow it to break on me. I'm going to replace the part that is known to break. So I'm not going to pay $1,000 to have to replace something immediately. Well, that's it for the FN Eastern Washington. Get it? 509 is the area code for Eastern Washington. Dad gun jokes are funny to me. Whatever. Navysooner out.